For anyone that's really followed my channel for any amount of time, you'll know that time is something that I value the most. And there's really nothing that I hate more than doing some mundane task or some pointless activity that really wastes my time and that I do not get any sort of value out of. If I am working on something, regardless of whatever that is, whether I'm trying to learn something, if I'm reading a book, maybe I'm editing a YouTube video, or maybe looking into a stock or a company, I really want to make the most out of my time, and I really don't want to drag that task out longer than it has to be done. And while I hear a lot of people say, I don't have time to do that, my plate's too full, I have too many obligations, and while I do understand that everyone's situation is different, and maybe there are some people out there, and I'm sure there are some people out there that really do not have time to do these things, I feel like the majority of people could definitely see some benefit from just restructuring their day-to-day models and reevaluate where their time is going, and in turn freeing up a good portion of time. So in this video, I'm gonna give 7 productivity tips, 7 tips that are really going to help you free up some of that time so you have free time to do whatever you want, whether that's learning things or maybe if it's watching Netflix or whatever you want to do with that portion of your time that you now have free. So if you do get any sort of value out of this, all I ask is that you drop a like on the video. That is the most important thing to me. That really helps with the channel, and that really helps the channel grow. And if this is the first video you've seen from me, feel free to subscribe because I post new videos every week, as well as my podcast, which I post on Wednesdays. And I'm also posting clips if you don't want to listen or watch an entire hour-long podcast. The first thing up on this list, and this might honestly be the most important thing on this list to free up some time, is to schedule out your days. So from what I see, most people don't really structure, most people don't schedule out their days other than say the hours that they're working. Maybe those hours are 8 to 4, maybe they're 9 to 5, maybe they're 10 to 6, whatever the case may be. Aside from that, that's really the only block of time that I really see a lot of people putting in the work to schedule out their days. Then other things that come up as well during that time period, maybe doctor's appointments or dentist appointments, things like that, they'll also schedule out that and they'll build that into their daily structure. But I also think that a lot of people would see a lot of benefit from scheduling out things and putting things into their day and blocking time periods off that are more arbitrary. So for example, what I'm saying here is, say I might pencil in from 6:30 to 8:30 a.m. on Tuesday, I need to edit a YouTube video, or from 5:30 to 7 on Wednesday, I need to record a podcast, or from 10 to 11 a.m. on Thursday, I need to learn this new skill for a video that I'm posting in a couple of weeks. Now, if you've never done this, you might honestly be thinking, why can't you just do those things? Well, if it's truly important to you, I really think that you're going to allocate and structure a certain time block for whatever task or activity that you are pursuing. Think about the things that you put on your calendar. Why do you structure time blocks for doctor's appointments? Because they're important to you. Why do you structure time blocks for plans with friends? Because they're important to you. Why do you schedule meetings for work or presentations for work? Because it's important to you. And you're gonna find a couple of things by doing this. You're gonna find that, one, you're gonna be more disciplined. So that new skill you're trying to learn, and whatever it may be, whether it's maybe learning a new language, learning some new edit, whatever the case may be, you are going to be more likely to do that because you've set aside a time block for that. Second, you're going to find that you will not fall victim to Parkinson's Law. Second, you're going to find that you are not going to fall victim to Parkinson's Law, which states that work expands so as to fill the time available for its completion. And what I mean by that, for example, is say you have 2 weeks to write an essay. 2 weeks from today, you have an essay due. It's going to take you 2 weeks to write that essay because that's how much time is allowed to write that essay. But on the other hand, let's say that you have 1 week to write that same exact essay. It's only going to take you a week to write that essay because that's how much time is dedicated and allowed for that essay to be completed. And it's the same thing with these personal projects. And if you do fall into this trap, one of 2 things are gonna happen. One, you're either just gonna give up on it and not look at it again, or 2, it's going to take you a very, very long time to finish. And third, and I think a lot of people are going to be able to rationalize with this, I feel like by scheduling out your days, you're also just going to feel more of a sense of purpose, and it's going to eliminate that crisis of purpose I feel like a lot of people in this country suffer from, especially over the last year and a half or so due to the pandemic. The second thing on this list, and this is going to be more of a quicker one, is automate as many things as you possibly can. So we can only do so many things from a physical perspective. We can only run so far, we can only lift so much weight, we can only bench so much, deadlift so much. Every single person has their limit regardless of who they are. And it's the same thing with decisions. Just like you see physical fatigue, you're also going to see decision fatigue. And what if I told you we make over 35,000 decisions decisions in a day. Over 226 of them are just related to food alone. So for me, when I'm making my most important decisions, whether that's work related, whether that's YouTube related, business related, whatever the case may be, I want to make sure I am as fresh as possible and I am in the best state of mind as possible. And there's a lot of ways that you can automate things in your life. You can set up auto pay on your credit card so you don't have to worry about paying that bill at the end of the month. You can lay out your clothes the night before so you don't have to worry about taking a decision away the next morning before you go to work when you're really fresh and you're really in that great state of mind. Another thing that you can do is you can lay out your days the night before. I've been trying to do this as well so you can be as productive as possible and you don't have to think about what you're going to do that next day, that morning, in turn wasting time, energy, and a decision for that day. The third thing up on this list is to batch as many things as possible together and stop multitasking. So multitasking is one of the worst things that you can do for your brain. I don't think a lot of people realize that because as I've worked so many different jobs over the years, I have heard so many people say, your multitasking is great, you need to multitask, you need to do both these things at once, and that is honestly not the case because your brain can only focus on one thing at once. Your brain cannot say, watch TV and read a book at the same time. And one study, which I should have posted on the screen right now, actually stated that if you are multitasking, your IQ is lowered so much that you have the equivalent IQ to an 8-year-old. And I feel like I see so many people do this all the time, whether they're, like I said before, watching TV and reading a book, or maybe they're in a meeting and they have their email open and the second an email pops up, that is their number one priority and they're ignoring everything that is going on in the meeting. So what I like to try to do to eliminate multitasking is I really try to batch as much things together as possible. So for example, if I want to answer emails, I will set a specific time block for me to answer emails. So I will answer all my emails from 2 to 4 p.m. And I find by doing this, I'm more productive, I'm more efficient, and I'm more in the moment because if I'm working on a project, I'm not thinking about that email that just came in that I need to reply to, or I'm not thinking about that email that I just replied to, or I'm not thinking about that instant message that my boss just sent me while I am trying to get this project done for a deadline. The fourth item up on this list is become a no man. Now, there are a lot of people out there, and I've been a victim of this in the past, trust me, that literally say yes to everything and they feel obligated to say yes to everything. It doesn't matter if it's a project, it doesn't matter if it's plans with friends, it doesn't matter if you're helping someone move. Literally, some people say yes to everything. And I'm not saying that just ignore your friends and never see them and never go out with them, but at the same time, don't be afraid to say no from time to time. If your friends are like, hey, we're gonna go out to XYZ tonight, you should come, but you have something really important to do in the morning that you really feel like you should get a good night's sleep for, whatever that may be, whether it's editing video or a conference call, or maybe it's just work, feel free to say, I'm sorry, I really want to go, but I also have ABC to do tomorrow and I need to prioritize that. And this is going to be really tough at first, especially when you're trying to break that habit of saying yes to everything, but you're going to find over time that as you say no to more and more things, you're going to have more time freed up to do whatever you want with. One tip that Ali Abdaal gave in a recent video pertaining to the book Hell Yeah or No. No, I have not read this book yet, but it is on my list now and I actually might order it as soon as I'm done filming this video. But to summarize the point he makes, people that say yes to everything, they're saying yes to all of the good things in life and even some of the bad things. And when you do this, you don't have time to say yes to all of the great things in life. For example, say you say yes every single time to go out with your friends or family, and then all of a sudden an interesting business opportunity comes up where you might need to go to Vegas or Los Angeles, and you can't because maybe you don't have the time or you don't have the finances. But if you had have said no to some of those extracurricular activities with your friends and family along the way, you probably A, would have had the time, and B, would have had the finances to go explore that business opportunity that maybe could change your future. So the point of this book is if when you're presented with something and you're not saying, hell yeah, let's go, then say no. And this is going to be hard because you are going to miss out on a lot of the good things in life. But at the same time, you are not going to be missing out on any of the great things and you're going to be able to take advantage of those. Number 5 on this list is to perform self-evaluations and really write down and figure out where all of your time is going. So when I was in grad school, I had a tutor that wanted me to go through this, and she's like, I want you to write down literally every second of your day for a week, and I want you to find out where your time is going, regardless of what I was doing. So it could have been on my phone for 10 minutes, it could have been doing laundry for 2 hours, it could have been watching TV for an hour. Whatever you are doing, keep a piece of paper with you and write it down. And then she said, if you don't have time for anything, go back to that list and look at where you were spending your time for that entire week and see which objectives that you can cut out that really are not that important, so you have time for this new thing that is a priority to you and more important. And I thought this was a great idea because every single person that says I don't have time, chances are in a lot of cases, again, I do know everyone's situation is different, but in a lot of cases, people are wasting time in areas that they do not even realize. And by performing this activity, it really got me thinking of how to maximize my time and how I can cut out some things that really are not that important to me and really start prioritizing the things that are important to me. For example, if someone says they do not have time to exercise and go to the gym, but they are spending 3 hours at night watching Netflix and they are spending an hour in the morning just laying in bed scrolling through their phone, these are two things that you can definitely cut out, at least in my opinion, and start prioritizing exercise, or you can just utilize that time for anything else that you want, whether that's exercise, chores, or daily tasks around the house. Number 6 on this list, and this is going to be very short because number 6 is just get to the point. You know how many calls or emails I've gotten where there's so much chit chat going on? Like, no, stop. Just get to the point. I don't need to read, I hope this email finds you well. Just get to the point. Now, this is gonna be completely different if you're going out with coffee or drinks for a friend, but from a professional corporate perspective, we only have so many hours in the day, and I don't think we should be wasting them by just essentially filling in blank noise. So the next time you go to write an email or give a phone call, maybe about a meeting, instead of writing 3 long, elaborate paragraphs about why you need to meet with them, write 1 short, condensed paragraph and just get right to the point. Instead of ending the email with, let me know what time and day works for you for this meeting, say, here's a Zoom link for August 23rd at 2 p.m. Let me know if that works for you. I hope to see you there. And the last thing on this list, and this is something I am really trying to focus on right now, is focus on the things that are the most important to you and that are going to bring the most value to your life. For example, me personally, right now, I am trying to focus on the things that are going to make me the healthiest, the happiest, and bring me the most money. Now, sometimes these things are going to contradict each other. That's only natural. And for example, I enjoy watching the Celtics, but watching the Celtics most likely is not going to bring me any money. But I really try to cut out as many extracurricular activities that don't fall into these categories as possible. For example, Netflix does not fall into any of these categories. If I spend 2 or 3 hours a night watching Netflix, and if you do, there's nothing wrong with that at all, but it's not gonna make me healthier, it's not gonna really make me happier, and it's really not gonna bring me any money, so I really don't do it unless it's on a very rare occasion. Now, obviously you can't have 10 categories because then that's gonna be way too widespread and you're just not going to be able to fulfill all of them, and then you're really gonna be contradicting each other. But I would say try to pick 2 or 3 categories and really focus on the things that are really going to bring you the most value in life, and then go from there. And I really think you are going to find that you have a ton more time to focus on the things that are really important to you. And saying that, guys, thank you so much for watching. That is at the end of this video. Make sure to drop a like on the video if you got any sort of value out of this. Also, remember to subscribe if you have not already, if you want to see more videos like this, as well as my podcast I release on Wednesdays, and clips from the podcast if you do not want to watch or listen to an hour-long podcast. Let me know down in the comments what you thought of this video. I'd love to hear from you guys as always, and I will see you guys in next week's video.